Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com and the Big Four Accounting Firms YouTube channel. Before we get started, just wanted to remind everybody to support us if you have a chance or if you can. Even $1 helps, and we have a link in the description to a website called Buy Me a Coffee. It's just a way to donate to us and support us. Again, any amount is helpful so that we can keep putting out content. And there's also other ways for you to support us in the show notes to this podcast or on YouTube in the description.
In today's podcast, I wanted to talk about how things are going to work out as far as the economy and the Big Four accounting firms recruiting. In recent podcasts, we've talked about layoffs. kpmg recently laid people off. Deloitte has shut down some offices, and partner pay at Deloitte in the UK has gone down significantly. kpmg is delaying their results and bonuses in the UK because they're uncertain about the economic timing, and KPMG is waiting on releasing those results until after their first quarter. And the reason I think they're doing that, and the way I see all this panning out, is that at the beginning of 2021, it's going to be a few months till all the annual reports, and in the US, the 10Ks come out. And then I think that's where people are going to realize how bad things have gotten. Because even though equity markets are doing really well, like some of the big companies like Tesla and Zoom have raised a lot of money during COVID-19 because of just cheap money that's in the market, but also this work from home thing. And some of these companies have done really well, but the thing is, small businesses have not been doing well. And even if people are working from home, these technology companies are going to be losing business from businesses that are out of business. And I think that's going to trickle its way up to financial institutions because small businesses aren't going to be able to pay back their loans. Companies are not going to invest in offices. As we saw, Deloitte close some of their locations in the UK permanently. And I think there's going to be more businesses that don't invest in office space. And that's going to trickle up to real estate companies because they're not going to be doing well. And you can already see this if you check over the financial reports of some of the real estate companies and the real estate management companies. You can see their revenue is down significantly. And that'll make its way to the banks, investors, etc. But people might not grasp the reality of that until year end. And so I think we have a couple months till the end of the year. And then after that, we have a few months until all the financial reports for the end of the year come out. And then I think that's where people are going to get a little panicked and the market might not do as well. The economy might not be doing as well. But also, it's not even just those financial reports. I think that's when the full effects of the economy are going to start making its path through financial institutions, because once companies release their financial statements, they're going to get real about their future. They're going to figure out what bills they're going to pay, what bills they're not going to pay, what loans they're going to repay. And then it's going to make its way through the economy. And so I think it's going to be a while. And PwC said that in one of their forecasts that they don't think things are going to get good until the end of next year. And I'd agree with that. So I think people just have to be ready for more layoffs to come. And this is really the first time in the Big Four accounting firms that we've seen huge layoffs consistently. And so this is somewhat new territory. So we're going to see those layoffs continue, and then we're going to see reduced hiring. So people just have to be aware of that. And it's going to be continuing for a while, but that doesn't mean you need to panic. It just means that if you don't get your job at the Big Four, you just need to look at a different company. And whatever region you're in the US or globally, you just have to figure out what are the largest companies in your region and try to get a job with them, because the larger a company is, the more accountants they're going to need, or consultants or tax people. So that's just something to be aware of. And also, you want to specialize in certain areas that are growing. For example, we talked about those SPACs the other day, and that's an area to learn more about. But another way to learn things, if you're not in the Big Four or if you want to work in the Big Four, is the Big Four accounting firms put out webcasts. And signing up for those webcasts is pretty confusing because they make you fill out all this weird information because it's mainly targeted at their clients. But you don't actually have to be a client to attend those webcasts. And that's another way is to find those webcasts. They usually give out CPEs. And you should watch those to learn more about the Big Four accounting firms and what they do. And you can also learn the partners that specialize in certain areas. But you can learn that while you wait to get your Big Four job, but also as you wait on the economy to improve. Eventually, the economy will improve. It might take a while. It might be faster than we think, depending on how all this COVID lockdown stuff goes. But being that we're headed into winter times in many places around the world, COVID-19 is probably going to spike up, and you already see it across news stations. They're preparing people for that. And so that's just something to keep in mind. If they shut down economies again, then it's only going to make things worse. Year end's going to be worse, and there's going to be more layoffs. And it's not just the Big Four accounting firms that are laying people off right now. There's a lot of companies that are laying people off ahead of year end in preparation. And then once they get their results in, I wouldn't doubt that they're going to lay more people off. So the way things are right now, I think it's at least probably 6 more months before things start to turn around. So that's just something to think about. That's the update for today. To get future updates, make sure to subscribe to this podcast. Support us financially through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes so that we can put out more content. And if you can't do that, then subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video on our YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.